Dax Nielsen grew up surrounded by musical instruments. He naturally gravitated towards the drums. After high school, he toured extensively across the United States with his band, Harmony Riley, which included his brother Miles. He then moved to Los Angeles, where he played with artists such as Dick Dale and Brandi Carlile. However, since March 2010, Dax has been the touring drummer for the legendary rock band Cheap Trick. He's performed over 1,000 shows with them. He is, of course, the son of Rick Nielsen, Cheap Trick's guitarist. I caught up with Dax at Joey's Song, which is an annual concert series in Madison, Wisconsin that raises money for epilepsy research. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be at Joey's Song again. 4th or 5th time, I think.
Did they all kind of blur together at this point?
There's a lot of spotted cow floating around this town, so yeah. But no, it's just always great to see everybody, and I'm usually kind of a house drummer here, one of a few drummers that kind of plays with everybody. So it's always just good to see everybody and play music with people I don't normally play with.
How did you originally get brought into the fold of Joey's Song? Do you remember who brought you in?
I believe my brother Miles and Kelly, his wife, did it one year, just the two of them, kind of like acoustic, just the two of them. And Mike Gamal liked it so much that he wanted us to come the next time, and we did that. I think that was right before COVID. And then obviously took a year off or whatever, and then now it's back 2 or 3 more times.
Last year, the Nielsen Trust played, and of course the Nielsen Trust is made up of your family.
Yes.
Is it kind of nice to get away from playing with Cheap Trick and then get it kind of in the setting where it's Miles and...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily get away from Cheap Trick, but I just like to play music. And I had a band with my brother Miles for 7 years called Harmony Riley. And I've been playing with my dad for 15 years now. So I think 2000, we said, hey, Miles has never played with Rick. Why don't we get a band and just, in our free time, which, believe it or not, we have some left over. Yeah, but it's just cool. I love playing music with anybody and everybody. So it's just, I got to play like 9 songs last night with 10, 15 different, people. So
there were a lot of people on stage last night.
And that wasn't a big, I wish it was here because it was real crowded up there. But as the drummer, I have all the room. I have the same amount of space as I do every night, so it's fine.
How do you prepare for these shows every year? Because I'm imagining, depending on who's showing up, you're learning different songs and different settings.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I've had a couple weeks to get set lists and song ideas. So I just, when I exercise or drive or whatever, just listen to these songs when I'm sleeping, put earphones in and just let it soak in. Don't play with these people very often, so it's just fun to get to do that.
We were talking earlier about golfing. Besides golfing, what other hobbies do you have?
I like to play music. My hobby became my job, and that's, people ask what my hobbies are. I'm like, I don't know. I play music, and then when I'm not playing music, I play music. So, but, like they say, it's corny, but if you like what you do, you don't work a day in your life. So
what does Cheap Trick have planned?
We're doing a lot this year. We're going out with ourselves, obviously, and then we're going out with Rod Stewart in the summertime. We're going out with Hart across Canada in March and April, I think. And we have a new album coming out, and I think we're going to go to Japan, play the Budokan.
What's the new album called? Is there a name on it yet?
No title yet.
All recorded?
All the music is recorded, still working on some vocals and whatnot, but it sounds great, and it's a lot of it's already kind of mixed, just for reference, and it's sounding killer.
Like nowadays, in the releasing albums, you've got a lot of artists that release singles and EPs. Are you still behind doing full albums?
Yeah, I mean, I think in like the 50s and 60s, people just put out,
45.
They had just 2 songs of it, and like nobody did albums. And I think these days, everybody streams everything, and it's just, moment and stream of consciousness. Like you hear one song and you're on to the next one. So I mean, doing an album, it's more for us. We like to record and we like to write. And I think, you put 12 songs out because we're just going to go tour on it anyways. It's not like we're trying to sell a million albums. It'd be nice.
Did you have a favorite memory of being up in Appleton, Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about our good friend, Dan McMahon. Yeah. He was from Rockford, where I'm from, but he moved up there to play with Corey Chisel, who's here tonight. And we would always play, it's not Appleton, but we would play Cranky Pat's in Nina.
Oh, yeah.
And my goodness, if those walls could talk, it's the greatest place ever. Whatever you want, it's on the house. If you say, I want 2 bottles of Jack Daniels and 12 beers, like, cool. Anything else? Like, I was kidding. So, and 6 pizzas, please, like, whatever. And it's just, we had so many fun nights there. But Appleton's great. My wife's family lives up there. Her aunt and uncle live there, and it kind of. I was actually playing for Corey Chisel for a few years, and I was going to move to Appleton. It didn't work out, and ended up doing something else. But cheap trick. But yeah, I love Appleton. It's great.
And as far as Joey's song, what do you think of the 4-day event versus the big 1-day show?
Still getting into it. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I love being around everybody. You know, backstage is just like a big party. And last night was great. You know, we played the Majestic, and there was a good crowd there. And tonight should be a good crowd. And then, unfortunately, we can't be here Friday and Saturday. The Nielsen Trust has shows elsewhere, but it's a marathon, and Mike's gonna probably sleep for 3 weeks after this. I hope. It's big. It's a big production. I'm happy to. I wish I could be here for all 4.
How are the Cheap Trick fans as far as receiving the Nielsen Trust? Do you find a lot of the same people showing up for both bands?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a different thing, and the Nielsen Trust it's more of a storyteller kind of. You know, Rick tells stories about how he wrote the songs we're playing, and Miles. They keep trying. They try to get me a mic, but I don't want to be. I'm the drummer. I don't need to talk. But, you know, Miles talks more about life growing up as a Nielsen and, you know, stuff we remember being kids. And I let him, he can speak for me. You know, he was there for most of it. So it's a different, it's not just a rock show, you know, in that sense. It's more of like a storytellers.
But Miles, he really does those songs. He can really belt those songs out.
Great singer, yeah.
Do you have any stories of when you were a little kid meeting some of the big artists? At the time, did they seem like big artists?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll never forget. Tommy Lee came over to the house one night. They played Rockford, and then anytime Rick was in town and a band was in town, he'd invite the people over to, you know, come over and hang out and do whatever they did in the 80s. I'm sure you can imagine. But Tommy Lee came over. Now I'll never forget. He goes, "Man, I need to get a crib like this." And then like 2 years later, MTV Cribs came out, and he was like one of the first people on there. Like, man, did he coin the phrase crib? I don't think he did. But yeah, I mean, met a lot of cool people that when I was 12, they were my idols. So, and now they remember me 30 years later and like, oh, you were that little kid. Yeah.
I like to ask if there's bands that you're listening to. I'm always searching for new music. Are there any up and coming bands that you'd like to maybe take me towards?
My favorite band is a band called Zeus out of Toronto. Toronto, if you're from there, you don't pronounce the second T. They've got like 4 or 5 albums on. That's my favorite band. So Zeus. I like the new Father John Misty album. Have you heard that one?
I have not heard that yet.
I loved his first album. I didn't quite love the second one as much, and then this new album's killer.
Well, Dax Nielsen,
That's
from
me.
Cheap Trick.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.